Hello?
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Love, Peace, Unity Movement podcast. I'm your host, Colin Teal. This week's episode is about the different forms of manifestation. Our guest this week is our brother, Caleb Brooks, also known by his spirit name as Ishnu Vandumanan. I hope I didn't butcher that one.
No,
Th-
you're good.
Alright, thank you. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. First of all, I want to ask how you got your spirit name.
Okay. So, I have this theory that everyone has their own spirit name that was given to them by the universe. And I was trying to seek that one out, and I didn't really know what to do to find it or how to get it. So one day I was just meditating, and I do a lot of chanting in my meditations, and I do it intuitively. I don't follow any specific mantras or any specific chants or songs or anything. I just do what feels right and what's good for me. So I had set the intention to find my spirit name before I went into this journey. And so I closed my eyes and I started chanting. And after about 10 minutes, I noticed myself repeating the same chant, the same name, over and over again. Ishnu Van Dunaman. I don't know why, but it just kept resonating with me. And after about 10 times of me chanting that, it clicked. It's my spirit name. So that's kind of how I figured that one out.
Nice. Personally, I wouldn't say figured out my spirit name. I just figured out who I am as my essence, and I've just been happy with that this whole time. So I didn't really have a push for that, but that's okay. Anyways,
I mean, not everyone believes in it either. I think it's more of a personal thing. I don't really honestly think it matters if you have a spirit name or not. It was something for my own kind of personal entertainment.
yeah. So I want to get into our main topic, which is the different forms of manifestation. So let's just begin on that.
Yes. All right. Well, what would you like? What should we talk about first about it?
Well, let's start with a couple of them, and as you mentioned, how they apply, and like in the text.
Okay. So, as we talked about a little bit, there's a bunch of different forms of manifestation. And I believe that there's 3 types of powers to help you manifest. The most powerful one is your own power, your personal power, the power of your mind, your thoughts. The second one would be the natural power, the power of nature, like stones, rocks, the planets, herbs, trees, plants, animals. And then you have the third power, which is the divine power, like the power from the gods, the goddesses, prayer, stuff like that. But under these 3 different types of powers, there's so many, like I was explaining, there's so many different types of ways of manifestation and how to use these powers. So, a few of these would be like prayer. That would be one, and then that would be one for what would you call it? For personal and godly power, because you're calling onto the gods, but you're using the power of your mind too. And the way these different things work is through frequencies and vibrations. and all these different things emit different. Like if you have a certain thought, that thought's emitting a certain frequency, and it's kind of like calling out into the universe, and then it comes back and manifests.
Mm. Especially like group prayer. If a lot of people come together with the same kind of thought form and or request, if you will, I think I heard like it tends to manifest easily or better.
Oh yeah, the more like the higher frequency you have, or the more people you have together, it's gonna definitely cause a greater difference.
Yeah. So
there's different things that emit different frequencies, like different rocks, stones, crystals, minerals, and stones like that. They each have different colors, different structures, and all these together emit their own personal vibration. And you could like hold on to them, and they can vibrate through you. You could have a few of them that have a similar vibration to set up like a powerful intention, or if you're trying to do like energy work with them, that's a good way to manifest some things.
Yeah. Could you explain which ones you use and what you'd recommend? What might be an easier or the best method for people?
Yeah. I have a lot of stones, but there's a few that are my personal stones. Like I carry with me all the time, no matter what. And they're like my power stones. I would say like they give me the best energy and the best vibrations for me. I'll name them. They're tangerine quartz. That one's a really high vibrational stone, or a crystal, sorry. And it's really good for like teaching and for like absorbing knowledge and like passing it through and explaining knowledge,
Yeah.
So that one helps me out a lot. And then the other one I have is blue kyanite. And that one's really powerful and high vibrational too. So what it does is, as soon as you touch it, it immediately aligns your chakras. And it's one of the few stones that never has to be cleaned or cleansed. It cleanses it cleanses itself. And so this one I use to help keep me balanced. And it's really pretty too.
Yeah.
And then another one I use is lapis lazuli. I don't know if I really said that right, but I'm kind of bad with pronouncing that one. But that one's a really good high vibrational stone too. And that one's good for like personal power, and like it's considered a royalty stone because when they first found a massive discovery of it, is when they unburied the pharaohs in the tombs. They found pieces of the stone just covered by the pharaohs. I mean, it was covering the pharaohs. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of pieces of it, and it's really good for like divine information, like getting information from your spirit guides and stuff like that.
I have my personal stones that I have. I have my amethyst because I'm an Aquarius birthday. So this one is for I always keep it around my neck. It's for protection, which I've had, constantly for a long time. I recently got a labradorite, Dragon's Heart labradorite. It's really cool, but I think it's also for, alignment with my. It's in alignment with my being an Aquarius and for various and sundry purposes. And I can resonate what you said with the blue kyanite, because one experience I had, I had really bad pain right where I think it's solar plexus, right above the belly button. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really weird pain. So I set my full intention and everything on it, grabbing my blue kyanite to really heal it, and this time it actually worked through really deep meditation, setting my good intention. Once I came out, I actually felt completely better, and I didn't need any other, drugs or pills for it. So I can testify to the abilities of blue kyanite, and it's a really good stone.
Oh yeah, man. That's just a perfect example of how its vibrational energy could be used to manifest. You used it to manifest healing, man. That's great.
Yeah. So let's just go into more in-depth details about something that I've been using a little bit lately, and maybe you have binaural beats and music in terms of their frequency and vibration.
Oh yeah, that one's a good way too. You can do a lot with those. So the way those work is, they usually have to listen to them in or the frequencies play in both ears, but at different rates. So you gotta have headphones for them. You can't just listen to it like on a speaker. You gotta have it like going through the channels, through the left and the right. So you could set different frequencies and different vibrations through the sound to cause different states of consciousness. Some things a lot of people like to do is like try to, like, I think you're trying it too, right? Is trying to see if you could like alter your mind, almost like if you're on a substance. I think that I played around with that. It was kind of fun. But you can also use it for like, I know some people use it for astral projection. Some people use it to manifest things in the reality and like set intentions. And some people use it to like hypnotize themselves, like to quit smoking or to help with addictions and stuff like that. I honestly haven't used much of them.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more into it.
I know they're really effective.
Yes, I'm getting more into these things and doing my own personal experimentation and research into them. Another thing I want to get into is numerology. Something that first I want to give a quick testimony of something. I found an online site, I think this was about a week or so ago, and so it says input your name and your birthday and whatnot, right? And so I put all that in, and it basically, asks a few questions about you, and it gives like a life number, a soul attraction number, all that kind of stuff. And it basically, like an online voice came on and started describing things to me. And everything they said about my sign and about what they've deduced was actually spot on about me and my personality. Everything. Which blew my mind.
Oh, wow. What was this source? Sounds interesting.
I'll have to look it up and I can put it in the description, but I think it's like numerology or starnumerology.org or something. I don't know. I can show you once I find it, but it's a really interesting one, and I don't know, it got me into that. So now I want to talk a little bit more in depth about numerology, especially with people probably seeing a lot of 1111 lately, and number synchronicity.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of signs out here. I think as we're awakening and all this is happening, our guides and our spirits are telling us signs and messages and trying to help us keep awakening others and keep on our soul's purpose. So I think they use a lot of these signs through these numbers and through these repetitive patterns, like you're saying, the 1111 and these Christ numbers. Um, but yeah, every single number has a deep meaning behind it. Because as we are talking about earlier, is the frequencies. Each number has a different frequency as well. So when they're in certain codes, it's like a message, and 1111's one of the better messages because it's telling you it's like one, like the number one stands for like new beginnings, and the start of something. So if you keep seeing 1111, it's saying that it's time for a new beginning. You can start your path now. You're on the right path. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember I've seen it once when I first started out. I call it the initial incline. It's when I first started gaining all these new wisdom. It felt like every week or something. It was amazing, and obviously there's been a lot of improvement since then, and I've been ever so grateful for going through this experience. I thank all of the beings of light and all that for everything. But that's what I started seeing, 1111 and all these number synchronicities when I was first going through that initial incline. And now I'm at the point where I'm at now. And lately, from like the start of this month up until this point, and hopefully onward, I've been seeing a lot of 1111 and those things again. So if I'm deducing this right, I'm thinking
so. Like right now too, like recently, these last week.
Oh yes.
That's good.
I think something
yeah,
good.
Sometimes they fluctuate. Like if you don't see them, that's how you know you kind of been like slacking a little bit. Sometimes I don't see them, and then I kind of check myself, and then I'll start noticing them again once I get back on my path.
Yeah. I've been noticing a few changes lately, and I've been also looking into Kundalini awakenings and all that, and curious about if any of that stuff's going on, but I'm not getting into that. So, various changes, and I'm assuming, yeah. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's a touchy one. It's really good.
Yeah, but this numerology is a good way to. It's something that you got to pay attention to, because it's a way of communication between the spirit realm and your guides and your higher self and you.
Exactly. That's why, yeah, I think it's good if you're starting to awaken, like you and I are, just to like learn what these different numbers mean, so we could start like recognizing these symbols and these messages. I'm starting to read this numerology book that's really in depth, and it explains all this very well. It's called The Secret Science of Numerology. I forgot the author, but I'll send it to you too, and then you can post it for the fans and viewers. But it explains every number's meaning, and even all the letters and their meanings, and and it explains how to find the purpose of your life and your soul's purpose through your name and the numbers in your name. I know I said numbers, but it's true. Every letter correlates to a number, and like numbers are like the universal code. Like even if we have our languages, we can always speak through numbers and music.
One more thing I want to discuss before we wrap up here is astrology. Like they say, like the full moon is moving into Sagittarius and all that. Could you please go into depth about that?
Yeah, I don't follow like traditional Western astrology too much. I mean, I know my signs and my chart, but I don't really pay attention to like the actual like what all the houses are and all that. What I'm learning right now is like it's the same concept as Vedic astrology, and it's from Ayurvedic medicine that was found in India. But it looks at the planets and their energies and like their magnetic fields and the way they like rotate and how they affect us. So like I'm still kind of getting into that one right now, but I just know that the planets have a big impact on how your course of life and how you could use that and find that motion, that natural motion that you have, that you're born with and aligned with, and use it to help you with manifestation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I think it was great, and we got a lot to we discussed a lot. Sorry, this is my first podcast, so I was a little nervous.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, we hope to have you on again soon.
Yeah, man, and I'll bring some guests too.
All right, great, thanks. And a special thanks to all our listeners out there. We hope you'll join us again next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye, buddy.